What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Nightwing 2024 annual. This one is written and drawn by Travis Moore. That's right, Tom Taylor did not have really anything to do with this issue necessarily in terms of writing or doing art or anything like that. So this is all Travis Moore. And this is probably the most surprising issue in this entire Nightwing run. I mean, and you know, I'm just going to go out and say it's probably the best issue in this entire Nightwing run, and it's just the annual. This issue really surprised me with how much I really enjoyed it. I mean, Travis Moore is a terrific artist, so I knew the art was going to be pretty good. And going into this storyline, I didn't really have much in terms of expectations. I'm like, oh, that's just Bea. She was a character like kind of like who played a supporting role during the Ric Grayson arc, and anything Ric Grayson like just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and I know a lot of Nightwing fans don't like it, and deservedly so. But then later came around, like when she appeared again in the Tom Taylor run on Nightwing, they made it a little bit more interesting, making her this like pirate queen. And then in this issue, we dive even further into her backstory, and it doesn't contradict anything that came before it, which is great. They took all the history of, you know, her appearance and kind of wove it around like she was kind of in the background of a lot of things, and they fleshed it out and made a very interesting, compelling storyline. Like, this is a comic book that feels like a fully complete story, if you will. It does take a minute to kind of read it, because like this is an annual that is packed. Like, this feels like a whole couple issue run just kind of like put into one thing, and it feels all like totally seamless. We tie back into like the Grayson Spiral spy organization run with him. We tie back into the Ric Grayson stuff. We go back to the pirate stuff. There's just so much in this issue that actually made for a really interesting story. And Bea, who was a character I wasn't really too huge on, like, I mean, especially like she was okay in the Ric Grayson stuff, didn't really do much for me in general, but then the pirate stuff made it a little bit more interesting. And then this one on top of that, I legitimately liked it. I thought this was really good. I wouldn't mind reading more issues centered around her character. I don't know if this was always the intention, but the way they kind of took her and made her like 100 million times more interesting, I gotta commend them. So we find out like many years ago, she wasn't always Bea Bennett. Her name was Destiny, and she was on a ship with her mom that we later find out was targeted by the Spiral organization, and she was basically orphaned. And that's where she went, and she found the pirate queen, or the secret society of pirates or whatever, who kind of raised her. And then she went from there, and this is where she gets enrolled into basically the Spiral organization. They tie into Checkmate and all that other stuff. She's doing secret spy mission stuff, and eventually she gets tasked with her next target, which was Ric Grayson. So she was supposed to kind of get close to him, keep an eye on him, because a Dick Grayson without memory is kind of a loose cannon, is what they were going for. And then she, you know, fell in love with him. She got too close to her assignment, if you will. And then obviously you know what kind of happened with that. There's also kind of a bit of her backstory with her and someone else she was kind of into. So it's tying all those loose ends together, if you will, to kind of craft something. Her mom was, you know, allegedly killed by KG Beast, and I say allegedly because based on the ending of this thing, and that's all tied in together. Remember, KG Beast was the one who shot Dick Grayson and gave us Rick, and there's a lot of twists and turns within this issue. And then we kind of get a big reveal sort of at the end that it looks like her mom may be alive, in fact. But I mean, in terms of just like a single like comic book, like this is fully expansive. It's like, in terms of like single issue storylines that, you know, tie into things from the past, like this is a really good, compelling one with fantastic artwork. You understand her point of view. She got too close to, like, there's a lot of layers with her in this issue, a lot more than I was really anticipating. And they do such a great job crafting this interesting story around her. And you see her trying to like let go of the past, if you will, but knowing that it's all just kind of a lie with the whole Ric Grayson aspect. Like, it's not really him or anything like that. And the way it all ties in together is handled well. This is taking something that was already established and trying to flesh it out and make it more interesting. And I wish more writers would kind of do stuff like this, because like I said, I was not really too huge into her character in the Ric Grayson stuff. They made her more interesting with the whole pirate queen thing, and I thought that was kind of be it. But then they added this extra layer to it, and I'm like, wow, she's actually an interesting character now. Like, this is actually really cool. So Travis Moore understood the assignments. I don't know if this was always the intention. I don't think so. But with what they were able to do, I think it worked out like remarkably well. So what did you think of the Nightwing 2024 annual? I think it arguably could be like considered the best issue in this run. Since, I mean, it's part of the run, obviously, since like Taylor and that took over, but it wasn't written by him necessarily. And I think, I don't know, like Travis Moore did a really good job. I wouldn't mind him taking over on Nightwing if you can make something this interesting out of Bea Bennett's character. So there you go. There's my quick thoughts on the issue. I really liked it a lot more than I was ever anticipating to. And yeah, it's really, really good. I say definitely check it out. There's a lot of like layers and twists and turns, and everything's kind of like makes sense too. And it's a good story. It's surprisingly really, really good. So, all right, well, that's all I have to say. I think I got like 2 more DC comic book reviews I want to get out this week. One is like a Superman issue, and the other is like the little holiday special things, which I got to go and read. And then I got a Godzilla comic book coming out as well. So I'll probably get the Godzilla one up next, and then I'll focus on some of the other stuff later on. So, yep, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.